What's going on, everybody? I'm Nano, and welcome back to Borderlands 2. This is another video in my series of early level character guides. If you want to check out the others, I will link them in the cards right here. With the release of the Commander Lilith DLC, Borderlands now lets you start a new character at level 30 beginning at the new DLC. And with the game on Games Pass, PS Plus, and the approaching release of Borderlands 3, I thought it would be a good idea to put up some guides for new and returning players. As a new player, being able to jump into the game at level 30 is much more fun than starting at 0, but starting here leaves you at the final mission of the main story, so if you want to experience the story from the beginning, with no spoilers, you might want to start at 0. In these videos, I want to show off some early builds for each character for new players and returning ones coming in for the Commander Lilith DLC. The goal of these builds is to make you as strong as possible in true Vault Hunter mode, Borderlands' version of New Game Plus, and the DLC, without specific legendary or unique gear, so you can get right into playing with your friends and blowing up psychos like a badass without farming for hours. I also want to give quick explanations for some of the more confusing skills and mechanics. I've noticed a lot of other build guides just tell you where to put your points but don't explain why or what they do. And last, I want to give some pointers for where you should put your skill points after level 30. In this video, we're going to go over Maya the Siren. Maya the Siren is usually seen as Borderlands 2's support character. Her harmony tree has a lot of skills that heal you and your friends, but she can deal out some decent damage on her own too. Her action skill is called Phase Lock, which allows her to lift an enemy up in the air, preventing them from fighting. This is really good for crowd control when you either want to focus a target down or prevent a certain enemy from attacking. Some enemies and most bosses are too big to be Phase Locked, so the ability will just deal damage to them instead. Phase Lock also has the fastest base cooldown in the game at 13 seconds. Now the goal of these guys is to keep you from farming specific gear, but I do want to say that Maya is best with elemental guns at SMGs. Her cat class mods give flat damage and accuracy bonuses to SMGs, and a lot of her skills boost elemental damage. So be on the lookout for elemental plasma casters, but any elemental weapons will work, especially if they're SMGs. I also want to preface this build by saying that unless you go down the harmony tree and pick up all the healing skills, you're going to be pretty weak survivability wise, and if you play Maya solo, you have to be a little more careful to stay alive. After the initial build, I'll suggest some other skills to help you with survivability as you level past 30. So first you want Foresight for the 20% mag size and 25% reload speed. Next you want Immolate, which grants 50% extra fire damage when in a fight for your life. Now this skill is kind of weird and doesn't work entirely as it says. Technically speaking, as long as Maya is at 0 health, the skill is activated. There are ways to exploit this, but you need specific gear and you can only do it in multiplayer. Also, Moxie weapons will deactivate this skill if used in fight for your life because they still heal you even though you're in a down state. Next you want Cloud Kill. Shooting an enemy creates an acid cloud that lasts for 5 seconds, dealing constant corrosive damage to enemies who touch it. You can only have one cloud active at any time. This skill used to be terrible. Max level Mayas with as much supporting gear as possible could barely kill normal enemies with it. But they buffed it back in 2015 by almost 4,000%, so now it can almost carry you through UVHM. Now you want to go back and put 4 points in the Flicker, which gives you 24% extra elemental effect chance at level 4, but more importantly lets you reach Reaper, which we'll talk about now. Put 5 points in the Reaper, which grants 40% extra gun damage to anything that has 50% health or more. This skill only measures actual enemy health, so you get this 40% extra damage until the enemy's red health bar, or yellow for armored enemies, is less than 50%. This makes ripping through shields really easy. Now because this says specifically gun damage, this damage boost is not applied to splash damage. If you have seen my Krieg video, this works almost the exact opposite way that Bloodbath does. I'll leave a link for a list of weapons that work and don't work with Reaper in the description. Finally, go to the harmony tree and pick up Sweet Release. This skill spawns 5 life orbs similar to the ones you get from transfusion grenades upon killing an enemy that's phase locked. This should provide you with enough healing as long as you're phase locking and killing the enemies as often as possible. So beyond 30, you want to keep going down the harmony tree. Most of the skills in this tree are really good, especially if you play in a group. If you're playing in a group, you're going to want things like Restoration, which allows you to heal allies by shooting them, and Res, which lets you revive downed friends by phase locking them. But skills like Mind's Eye, which gives you more melee and critical damage, and Wreck, which gives you more gun damage and fire rate while something's phase locked, is more useful for solo players. In both multiplayer and solo play, the goal skills in this tree are Sustenance, which gives you passive healing for up to 2% per second depending on how low your health is, and Life Tap, which is a kill skill that grants you 6% lifesteal while it's active. Aside from skills like Ward and Inertia in our motion tree, these two skills are key for Maya's survivability. And that's Maya the Siren in the early levels. If you would like me to make my own max level build guide, let me know in the comments. If this video was helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button as it helps me know what videos I should make or keep making. And consider subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. Also, check out my Twitch channel where I stream things like Borderlands, Rainbow Six Siege, Apex Legends, Ark, and other games. I also do game giveaways over there, so check the link in the description below and I hope to see you in chat. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm already team D, so getting back up.
What should I name them, Ashley?
Orbital.